All right. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to school. Welcome back to the spring quarter. Some of you guys are enrolled in my 102B class, and you were there just a couple hours ago. But I just want to start off. I'm going to tell you guys the same thing that I told both of my 102B lectures, and that is I'm glad that you guys are here. Okay, I'm happy to see you guys. I know it's a hard time for a lot of us, and uh, and so I'm thankful to see you guys. Okay, I hope you guys are well. I hope you are all healthy. I hope your family members are safe and healthy. Um, yeah, and I hope you guys are doing well. I also just want to acknowledge and recognize that some of you might not be doing that great. Maybe some of you have family members who are sick, or or somebody who's sick or might have even died, and that's scary. Some of you might be in financially difficult places. A lot of people are being laid off or losing their jobs because of coronavirus and businesses shutting down. And so I hope you guys are okay. Some of you guys might be suffering from anxiety or worry, especially about your parents or grandparents or other loved ones. And others of you, you might be struggling with the stay-at-home orders, or the inability to see friends, or even just the fact that we can't hang out with people and give someone a hug. These It's hard, and I don't know how you guys are feeling, but last night I was just like, I don't know if I'm ready to start a new academic quarter, but here we are, and yeah, we're here. So anyway, I just want to say, I see you, and you are not alone. We are struggling and grieving together as a community, as a nation, as a planet, really. And this stuff is weighing on us all. But I do want to say that we will get through this. I don't know when it's going to be over, but we do know that it will end. This too shall pass. All the models show that it's going to end at some point. And as difficult as these social distancing orders are, um, and we don't want the social distancing orders to last for so long, but the fact is that the better we do at flattening the curve also means that the duration of this is going to get longer, right? Um, but a longer duration in this case is a good thing, because it means fewer people at any one given time will be sick and in need of medical care. And so the stress to the healthcare system um, will not be as dramatic if we are able to stretch this out. So that's what we are hoping for, but unfortunately, yeah, we don't know when it's going to be over. But we do know that we will get through this. All right. Um, I got email confirmation from the statistics department chair. Um, and what they said, okay, is that this class, Stats 21, has to be taken for a letter grade. Okay, so it's a course that counts for the data theory major, and unfortunately there is no option for this class to be taken pass no pass. Okay, but that said, if you are a statistics major, if you are a stats major, your other stats classes, if they have the option to take pass no pass, you can take them for pass no pass, and you will get credit um, towards the stats major. Normally, as a stats major, you have to take your courses letter grade if you want them to count towards the stats major. And the stats department is choosing to relax that requirement. And so your other stats classes, whether that be 101B, 102B, whatever it be, is 100C or things like that, those you can take for pass no pass, and you will get credit. Unfortunately, this class, Stats 21, has to be taken letter grade, okay? And so just wanted to keep you guys updated and informed about that. So that's what we got going on, okay? I do want to take a moment to talk about Zoom and some of the features that we have going on here. So, one of the things that you can do is you can choose gallery view or speaker view, okay? If you do speaker view, I think it's gonna highlight my video and just kind of have a ribbon of thumbnails across the top. If you choose gallery view, depending on your computer, it might show 25 or 49 different thumbnails of your classmates and things like that. So that's available, okay? I do want to have you guys click the participants button, okay? So let me actually share my screen, okay? And I think this will change stuff for you guys, okay? All right, so so here we are. I'm sharing my screen now. If you kind of hover across the top, maybe, or I don't know where it is on your thing, there's going to be a button that says participants or manage participants, okay? And go ahead and click that, right? And next, and when you do that, there should be kind of a series of buttons that say things like yes, no, go faster, go slower, things like that, okay? And these are ways that you can provide nonverbal feedback for me, okay? And so if you see that, if you go ahead and click that participants panel and pull that up, and if you see that, go ahead and click the yes button, okay? And I just kind of want to see this, and okay, it looks like a lot of you guys have found it. Yeah, keep clicking that. Just kind of want to make sure that you guys are able to give feedback in that way, okay? So that's great, okay? About 40 out of the 60 of you have figured this out, okay? So we'll allow that, okay? Also, there is a reactions button, okay? It's a thumbs up. It's gonna have kind of, I wanna say, I think it's a smiley face. I think it's a smiley face in the corner. And you can click that, and there is a thumbs up and an applause button, okay? Go ahead and click the thumbs up button. It's different. There is a thumbs up button in the participants panel. It's different from that, okay? So I see 12 of you have clicked the thumbs up in the participants panel, but there's actually a different thumbs up and clap button, kind of probably closer on your gallery view, just I think with the smiley face. So yeah, a lot of you guys are giving me thumbs up there. And that's always kind of fun to see, okay? So anyway, those are ways you can give me feedback to kind of just let me know how you guys are doing. So as I'm lecturing and I say, does this make sense? You can just give me a thumbs up there, or you can click yes, and I'll know that's a good thing. Or if I say, does it make sense, and it doesn't make sense, you can always click no. And if several of you are saying no, then I can go back and pause, okay? And then also another feature on Zoom is the chat window, okay? And so if you hit chat, okay, that should bring up the chat window. I think you can also hit Alt-H to bring it up. And so if you've pulled that up, why don't you go ahead and say hi or hello in the chat thing, okay? So it looks like a bunch of you guys. All right, so this is always exciting to see a bunch of highs and hellos. As I'm lecturing, if I say something and you have a question, feel free to put your question in there, and I'll try to take a glance at the chat window to answer your questions. Okay. As far as Zoom etiquette goes, just the general rule is try not to be a distraction to your classmates. Okay. We're here. We're here to learn. Okay, and And of course, I don't want this to be, you know, painfully dreadful or anything, but my recommendation is, you know, try not to do things that are distracting. If things are being, if something distracting is happening in your video, you know, go ahead and turn off your camera. You know, I requested that you don't use, you know, virtual backgrounds, especially distracting ones. And I know there's a bunch of memes and jokes going around on the internet of people doing silly things, using green screens and stuff like that with their virtual backgrounds. And, you know, again, I just don't want things to be too distracting for your classmates. Okay. And yeah, if you have a question, you can type it into the chat window, or you can raise your hand, and I can call on you and unmute you, and you can go ahead with your question and things like that. Okay. Does that sound good for you guys? With a thumbs up there. Okay. All right. Okay. So I have a confession. All right. I have not finished the syllabus for this class. I've been trying to work on it, and it is hard. This is okay. So this is the first time we are offering this course, Stats 21, and I've taught a similar class, Stats 131, which covers Python. But this one's a little bit different, and we're going to say the focus of this class is going to be more on the programming aspects of Python, and less on data analysis. And we'll cover some data analysis, but Stats 131 really had a strong data analysis focus, and this one is I'm going to do a little bit more focus on Python programming. I have yet to figure out exactly how to do the grading. Okay, but one thing I will do, okay, is at the end of each lecture, there's going to be something called a lecture viewing quiz. Okay, and you will see that on CCLE. I will post that up shortly after class ends. Okay, and the lecture viewing quiz is going to be just 2 questions, 2 multiple choice questions. Okay, and I'm currently planning on having this worth 10% of your grade. Okay, this should be a very, very easy 10% to earn. Okay, all you have to do is watch the lecture or attend the lecture. During the lecture, I am going to provide the answers to these multiple choice questions. Okay, so so when the quiz is put up, which I will do shortly, the first question, the answer to the first question is going to be the letter C, C as in cat. Okay, C as in cat, and you can go ahead and write that down. The first question is the letter C. There's going to be a second question, and I will give the answer to the second question later on in the lecture. Okay, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I've taken an online course before. Okay, I've taken a few online courses before, and you know, one of the classes I had to drop. I had to drop the class because I fell behind, right? It was, you know, watch the video and keep up with it. And basically what happened was, you know, one day I decided to skip the video because whatever, you know, I wasn't feeling like watching it. And then I thought, okay, you know, I better watch that previous video before I watch the next one. And then and I just never got around to it. And then then there were like 2 lectures that I was behind on, and then it just kept going, and I was like 6 lectures behind, and I just thought, okay, now I can't catch up. Okay, and so the way these lecture viewing quizzes are going to go is that they're going to be basically the quiz that I put up today is going to be open today and tomorrow, pretty much. Okay, and you'll have about, you know, 40 hours or so to get it done. And then for Wednesday's lecture, it'll be open Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, and so basically there's just a few points attached to it to kind of make sure that, you know, if you live in a distant time zone or you're not able to attend the lecture live, then it kind of puts just a little bit of pressure on you to watch the lecture on time so that you don't fall too far behind. Because as soon as you start skipping a lecture, you know, it's hard to stop skipping, and then you'll fall super far behind. Okay, so that's going to be 10% of your grade just for basically attending lecture and paying attention. And somewhere in there, I'm going to drop the answers to the thing, and it's going to be in audio only, so you got to kind of listen. So it's not going to be in the lecture notes and things like that. Okay, so you can't just scan those. So it's so again, question 1, the answer is C. And then question 2, I'll give the answer to that a little bit later, okay? Are there any questions on that regarding the lecture viewing quiz? All right, and again, I know some of you are in distant time zones and you're not currently logged into the Zoom lecture, but I have recorded this, and so thank you for tuning in and watching. Okay, as far as the other stuff for the grading, I haven't figured this out, okay? I am planning on using certain resources that are available online. Okay, let me go back to sharing my screen here. Okay, so one of these is going to be DataCamp, okay? I have applied, all right, and I hope they approve, okay? But I have applied for a DataCamp subscription for our course, okay? I'm not sure if you are familiar with DataCamp, but they have a bunch of online kind of tutorials and courses. Normally, a subscription to DataCamp costs around $30 per month, and if they approve this application for me, all of the students enrolled in the class, okay, and you have to be formally enrolled, all the students formally enrolled in the class will get 6 months free of DataCamp. Okay, 6 months. That's close to $180. I think it's $29 a month or something. So basically, a close to $180 value to the DataCamp library. And from that library, I'm going to select certain courses for Python. But they have a bunch of courses that you can take in R and Python, on SQL and Git, and I'm going to assign homework from this. Okay, and basically when you do the homework assignment, and let me just show you what it's going to look like. So again, my application is pending. If they deny my application, then I'm going to have to figure out something else to do. Okay, but basically when you get logged, when you log in, somewhere in there, there's going to be an assignments panel, okay? And it will list off basically the different homework assignments, okay? And so, you know, our first week, I'm gonna assign this course that says Introduction to Git, okay? And you're going to work through it, okay? And there's only 3 statuses for the homework. So if you've taken a course with me, I have I think a fairly lenient and graduated late policy, as in, you know, if you do it on time, you get 100%, and if it's 1 hour late, you lose a little bit. If it's 2 hours late, you lose a little bit, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, DataCamp doesn't support such kind of late policy. They only have 3 statuses. Either you completed the homework assignment, or the homework assignment is late, or you did not complete the homework assignment at all. Okay, and so, you know, as the course goes on, basically, I'm going to just kind of look here, and when you get it done, I will give you points. There's going to be a due date, okay, and so either you completed it on time by the due date, in which you'll get 100%. If it's late, okay? And again, DataCamp only supports on time, late, or not done. If it's late, you'll lose 30%, okay? So that you'll get 70% on it. And if it's not done, you'll get a 0, okay, for the homework. So this is kind of what you can expect. I'm going to assign assignments with DataCamp. All right. The assignments or the courses on DataCamp are kind of a mix of some video. There's usually maybe a 5 or 10 minute video, about a 5-minute video segment covering some concepts, and then let me see if I can show you what. I'm just looking for like an intro Python, introduction to Python. So this will be kind of one of your first courses that I'll assign later on. But basically, there's going to be a few of these things. You know, you start off with a video that you will watch, okay, and then okay, and after you watch this 5-minute video, 4.5-minute video, there's going to be certain fill in the blank exercises, okay? And you're going to type these in, and you're going to click submit answer. All right. So DataCamp is great, all right, and I think it's a very good interface that's useful for learning things like Git and Python, but at the same time, because the exercises are so structured, the answers will come fairly easily, okay? And so, so on top of DataCamp, I'm gonna have regular homework assignments, okay? And so I will set up kind of some Jupyter notebooks that you will fill out with your homework answers, okay? That will be a little bit less structured. So these are kind of, you know, you can imagine these having like certain training wheels on these things, and it's good for learning some of the basics. But I would say it's not enough to get you all the way to the end. And so so I will assign some homework assignments, separate homework assignments. Okay. And again, I'm sorry, I'm not done with the syllabus. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to weight all of the different homework things. Okay. So then we will also have regular homework assignments. And then I'm also taking a look at a website called HackerRank. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the website HackerRank, but it's a website that certain companies use. Some companies use to interview their candidates. Okay, basically, it's you can like take tests on HackerRank or interview exams on there. And you know, there's different things in there. So I was recently approved for a HackerRank for school account, and so I'll provide instructions for that. You know, we probably won't get into this until next week or so, but I just kind of want to let you guys know. And so when you sign up for HackerRank, you're going to want to sign up on the developer's side, okay? Not the company side, but for the developer side, you're going to set up an account there, okay? And let me log in on my account, okay? And they have different things that you can do, okay? And so if you can say you want to learn Python and stuff like that, right? Skills available for practice. You can click Python, and basically it's going to give you little exercises here, right? And basically the first thing is you're going to type in hello world, and so in Python that's going to be done using the print, and you say hello comma world inside your quotes, and then you can submit this, right? And as things get more complicated, okay, so you know, there's more tasks for you to accomplish here, okay? And so, you know, it's something you can start playing around with now, even though we haven't learned anything about Python yet. You can just kind of start fiddling around. But I will provide more instructions, and there's a way to kind of set up either like kind of homework tasks or even quizzes or exams on here, okay? And so I'm sorry, this is a lot of this is still in flux, and I haven't nailed all of the details out yet, all right? But as far as homework goes, you can kind of expect a few of these different things going on, okay? We're gonna have DataCamp, regular old homework, some stuff on HackerRank, okay? I'm also planning on having 2 exams, okay? A midterm and a final exam. Again, the details of these things, I'm still working out. I'm still trying to figure out how best to administer such exams, whether I should do them online on CCLE or do them via HackerRank or something of the sort. And so, again, as I work all of these things out, all of these details out, I will let you know. It's been quite a challenge trying to think about these things during as for this stuff. Okay, sorry. We had a question from about 11 minutes ago. Uppercase C or lowercase c. It's going to be multiple choice. There's only going to be one C answer regarding the attendance quiz. Okay, so the first question is C, and there's only going to be one C there. Okay. Are there any questions regarding how the class is going to work out a little bit? No? All right, okay. Then I guess we can take a look. Yeah, all right. So the first thing I want to talk about is getting started with Git, okay? So let me go ahead and share my screen once again. All right. So on the course webpage, okay, for CCLE, if you go into my Stats 21 course webpage, under week 1, I have posted a whole bunch of links already for Git and GitHub, okay? I am not sure if you are already familiar with Git and GitHub. Some of you probably already are, but I imagine many of you are not yet familiar. And so we will take a look. Okay, so there's a question. You mentioned machine learning in the syllabus. How much time are we going to use on this? I'm asking you since it's more on programming less than we're going to spend very little time on machine learning. It's probably going to get something picked up just in the last lecture or two. So I will very briefly, so yeah, most of the time will be spent focusing on Python programming. We'll very briefly get into some pandas stuff and sklearn and things like that. And sklearn is kind of the package for machine learning, but not a whole lot, okay? Mostly we're gonna focus more on programming aspects, kind of the object-oriented model in Python and things of that nature. Okay, so some of you are probably already familiar with Git and GitHub, but maybe some of you are not, okay? I'm really hoping this DataCamp stuff will be approved, and there will be some Git training that you can take in DataCamp. But the idea with Git is that Git is what we call a kind of a version control system, and it allows you to kind of track all of the changes that you've made to a file, and you can revert changes. You can create branches so that you have a file and you want to try making some, or not even a file, but you have a project that you're working on. You want to try making some changes to that project without breaking the existing project. Okay, so maybe you have like a website or something, and you want to make some changes without breaking it. You can create what's called a branch, work off the branch, test the branch, make sure everything works, and then once you realize everything, your new features, your experimental features are working on the branch, you can then merge those changes back into the kind of the main system. Okay, and so Git is really helpful for that. Okay, and this is I don't know if you've heard people talk about pushing commits and things like that. In Git, it's kind of this. There's a system of any change that you want to make permanent is you commit those changes. Okay, and so let me show you. Where did my diagram go? Sorry. Okay, and so the basic ideas of Git are that on your local computer, okay, whether your laptop or your computer or whatever it is, okay, you create files in your working directory, okay? And normally, you just work in your directory, you create a file, you save it, you make changes to that file, you click save, and this is all in your working directory. And that's fine. Unfortunately, we've probably experienced something where we've made a change and then and we save it and we realize, you know what, I want to go back. But once you've done that, once you've saved it, you can't go back, right? It generally, when you save it, it overwrites the old version of the file, and you can't go back, okay? And so what Git does is it is that it creates something called a repository, and we might call this the local repository. This is a repository. It's a system that exists on your computer in the same folder that you're working on, and basically any changes that you make and any changes that you commit create kind of almost like a snapshot of how the files look at that moment in time. And then, and so later on, if you make changes and you save those and you commit those, but then you want to go back to an earlier version, you are able to check out kind of older versions of your repository. You are able to take a look at older versions of the file. You can look at the history of all of the changes. And so that if you wanted to kind of roll it back to an older version, that is possible with Git, okay? And so so that's something you can do, right? This also eliminates the need, you might be working on a project with somebody and you might have like the final version, and then you realize, oh, you know what, we made a change, and so you call it final version, and then you make another change and it's final version 2 or something like that, and you have like, you end up having like 5 different final versions. If once you get kind of into the system of working with Git commits and repositories, that's not going to be the case anymore. Okay, now, so in order to even get started, okay, you have to you have to download the Git program. Okay, if you have a Mac computer, Mac OS, Git is probably already installed, but it probably needs to be updated anyway, all right? And so you're gonna go over to this website, Git SCM, okay? And you can just click this link here, and you can download the latest version of Git here, okay? And download and install that, okay? When you set it up for the first time, you are going to so Git needs to kind of track everything that you do, okay? And so that any changes you make, there's a name, a person associated with those changes. Now, obviously, if you are working by yourself, it's always going to be you. But a lot of times, Git is used in the workplace where multiple people are working together, and therefore, if a commit is made that breaks things, they will know who is responsible for the commit. Okay. So anyway, once you get it installed, one of the first things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to type in git config, and you're going to have to give it your username. This is just generally your first and last name, and then you provide it your email address as well. Okay. It might ask you to type set up a password. Okay. At the risk of scaring a bunch of computer security people, I'm going to say don't set up a password. Leave your password blank, okay? Because anytime, if you set up a Git password, anytime you commit or add, you've got to type in your password, and it can get a tiny bit tedious, okay? So my recommendation is that you don't set up a password on Git itself. You set up a password for your computer so that people can't get in. But I don't know, my personal preference, I don't have a password set up for my own Git, okay? And then, so that's Git, okay? And we will talk about, the Git add, the Git commit, and all of this stuff. And this is how you, when you make changes on your local computer, and you'll get some practice with this once the DataCamp homework goes up. You will add your changes, and then you will commit them. Okay, you add them to the staging area, and then you commit those. Okay. There's something also called GitHub. GitHub is a website now owned by Microsoft. Okay, where that stores what we call remote repositories. Okay, so these are basically duplicates of repositories, or the repository exists on a server in the cloud. Okay, and basically you can synchronize, or you push your changes that you've made to your local repository to the remote repository. Okay, so on your physical computer here, you are working on files, you're making changes, okay? And then you want to publish those changes to a server up in the cloud, okay? The server in the cloud, we call the remote repository, right? Now you could set up your own servers and things like that, but GitHub is a very commonly used and very popular server, and a lot of people are very familiar with it, and so it's a natural thing to use. Okay, and so for that, you're going to have to create a GitHub account. Okay, and I probably won't have time to get into it today, but what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to set up basically some SSH keys. Okay, so that the remote repository can authenticate your computer, so that when your computer says, hey, I want to make changes to the repository that exists on the remote repository, it will say, okay, you are authorized to do so. Okay, and so I've linked all of these things. Okay, so anyway, you're gonna click this link. This will take you to GitHub, and I'm already logged in here. But if I'm not logged in, okay, you're gonna go to the sign up thing, and you're gonna create your account. Okay, you're gonna create a GitHub account, and GitHub is an account that anybody who's planning on applying for jobs in the tech world, everybody should have a GitHub account. You know, if you're applying for data analyst, data scientist, people want to see your work, okay? They're not beyond just the grades that you get in school. They're going to want to see what you are capable of. And so you'll want to do some projects and you'll want to publish them on your public GitHub page, okay? And so, so sign up for an account with GitHub, okay? And then once you've signed up for an account in GitHub, let me sign in here, okay? You are going to have to go to your settings, and you're going to have to establish your SSH keys, okay? I have instructions here, okay? So here is an article on generating an SSH key on your computer, okay? So once you've installed Git, okay, you're gonna follow these instructions. It says open Git bash. You're gonna type in this command, and it's going to generate the SSH key, all right? I can probably link some videos on how this is done. And then you're gonna have to locate that file on your computer, and then over here with new SSH key, you're gonna copy and paste. It's gonna be this long chain of text, okay? You're gonna copy and paste that long chain of text into here, right? And this is how the GitHub server is going to authenticate your computer so that it knows you are authorized to be able to make changes, okay? Because what we are going to do is we are going to want to push the changes from our local repository to the remote repository, right? And in order to kind of make sure that only authorized people are able to do this, it needs to have a key set up, okay? And so there are, so I've linked a bunch of these things, and you should be able to kind of, I guess depending on how comfortable you are, you might be able to kind of do a lot of these steps yourself, okay? And you can set up your own remote repository and things like that, okay? So yeah, you're gonna create your own repository and probably clone that repository. So my recommendation is you create a repository remotely, then you clone that onto your local computer, you make changes on your local computer, and then you push those back up to the remote repository. And we'll do, I guess we'll work through some of that there, okay? I don't want to get too much into it just yet, okay? We're gonna, basically this whole first week, we'll be talking about Git and GitHub. And the hope eventually is that you will be comfortable with publishing some of your work to Git and GitHub, okay? Now, my request is that you don't just take your homework from this class or your homework from other classes and publish it on GitHub, okay? And I'll tell you why, all right? Is that companies, no company is impressed if you said, look, I did my homework, okay? That everybody does their homework, okay? And you know, anybody who graduates with a degree has done their homework. And so if you tell a company, hey, look, this was a homework assignment that my professor created, and I did my homework assignment, and look, I did my homework assignment, it's not that impressive. It's not that impressive, okay? What's a lot more impressive is if you say, you know what, I learned this concept or this idea in class, and it interested me, and so I went out and I created a project on my own that incorporated it, okay? Or here was, you know, here was some data that I was interested in, and I was interested in it, and so I went out and I did this thing on my own, okay? Those things are impressive. When you do things on your own without somebody saying this is what you should do, that's a lot more impressive. That shows initiative, that shows creativity in your thinking. And so those things are impressive, and those are the kinds of projects that you want to share on GitHub. You don't want to just share your homework and say, hey, look, I did my homework, okay? All right, well, that already eats up pretty much our first 50 minutes of class today. You know, I am really happy to see you guys. And I look forward to having a good quarter. And I'm sorry that a lot of things are still up in the air regarding the syllabus, and I haven't published a syllabus yet because I haven't finalized exactly how I want to split up the homework grading just yet. But I'll be sure to keep you guys informed and posted with all of that. And I think we'll have a lot of fun learning some of these different technologies, Git and Python, you know, Jupyter and those notebooks, and I think it'll be pretty well, at least learn some stuff, and I hope you guys enjoy the course that we have, and we'll see that. Okay. Oh, is there a second answer for the quiz? Thank you for pointing that out, because I would have forgotten. The second answer is the letter A as in apple, okay? A as in apple. So, so thank you for pointing that out. Okay, just for clarification, would you like us to set up Git on our own or wait for more instructions throughout the week? You know, that's up to you. You can get started on it, okay? There's a bunch of tutorials out there. I think that would be my preference, is if you guys just get started on it and just kind of fiddle around with it. If you have no idea what you're doing, that's okay, all right? Read up, and again, as soon as that DataCamp class request gets approved, I will let you know. Now, there's a possibility that it doesn't get approved till next week or something like that. It sounds like they're pretty busy because I think a lot of people are doing stuff remotely. So that's what we got. Okay, students asking if they can talk to me after class. Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm going to end the meeting and then I'll start kind of a thing. Okay. Will you be posting lecture notes, or should we be able to take them ourselves in the future? So today was a little bit unique. I didn't have a whole lot of like notes specifically to set up, but I will in general post lecture notes as on my on the course GitHub. Okay, so I'm going to establish, I've got a GitHub repository for this class, and I'm going to post my notes for this class there. Okay, I will share the details on how to access that in the next lecture. Okay, once you guys kind of get your Git set up on your computer and GitHub accounts set up, I will show you how to access the course Git repository there. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. And those of you who are watching on video, thanks for watching the video. And we will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good day. Stay safe and stay healthy out there.